I wanted to demonstrate a couple more features of the Fraud Toolbox toolbar. And to do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some sample data that I created. It's not a very big data set, but it's good sample data to demonstrate what you can do with this, with these macros, with this software. I'm going to open up my checkbook register test data here. Let me go ahead and unhighlight everything. Just a couple examples of what you can do with this software is if I want to highlight transactions, I always find it easier to highlight every other transaction, and I find it easier to go through the data that way. I've created this macro here called highlight rows. Which allows me to highlight every other row, so I can have it blue, yellow, green, red. I can also work this so I can have, I just choose the whole spreadsheet here. This is made to limit itself to just the used range of the spreadsheet. Not all the macros work that way because I'm doing some counting techniques and other things that require the macro to do an iteration over every cell in the spreadsheet. So the more you can limit the data, the better it is. But in this particular case, with this particular macro, I don't need to do that. But I can also highlight, say, every fourth row if I wish to do that instead, and so forth. But anyway, it's a nice tool to be able to highlight some of my transactions there. If I go back and I'll unhighlight all these transactions, one of the most useful features, I think, of the Fraud Toolbox toolbar is this feature for the search and extract worksheet. Basically, what it allows you to do is create subsets of your data. There's some other software out there that I've used in the past that's fairly expensive that allows you to create subtables fairly quickly. But this is another method of doing it. I thought it was faster and easier. And quite honestly, I like to work in Excel a little bit more than some of the other software tools that are out there. So I created this macro that allows me to search any spreadsheet or any worksheet or any directory to find a subset of data. I can search for multiple terms. I can search for through multiple workbooks. Currently, the multiple workbook is set up to search for files that have the XLS extension on them. I'm going to go back and update this in a little bit so it'll search through all kinds of Excel spreadsheets. But basically what you can do is I can select a folder for it to go into, create a search term, and click go, and it will automatically go in and start pulling out the data from each of the worksheets and each of the workbooks and allow me to create a subset of data for all of that information. But with working with this Excel spreadsheet right here, what we can do is I can create a subset of this worksheet. Again, this isn't a very big worksheet. It's just made to demonstrate the usefulness of this. And this will pull up all the worksheets that I have. You can see here I'm on sheet number 1. So I'll go into sheet number 1 and say I want to pull out all the entries for, say, healthcare. I can put in my search term here for healthcare. What I want to do is I want to copy that to a new worksheet. And if I want to, in a lot of instances where you have a lot of data and you're going through a lot of information, you might want to highlight the rows in the original worksheet so you can go back and find where you pulled this data from. I'm not going to do that in this particular instance. I can also highlight the search term in red in the new worksheet, and that allows me to see exactly where the information is. And so one of the projects that I worked on was a project that involved about a couple hundred columns worth of data, and each column worth of data had large text entries in each row, and it made it very difficult. It was very difficult to find the transactions that I was looking for unless I highlighted the search term. Once I highlighted the search term, I could quickly find exactly what column the information was coming from, which helped greatly in my search. And so you can do that as well if you want. I created this status label down here, and the reason I did this in this particular case, and I didn't do it in other macros, is because sometimes when you're running this macro over large data sets, it can take an awful lot of time to go through and call out all the information that you're looking for. And so this status box helps you understand exactly where it is in the process of trying to create your data sheets for you. So in this particular case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for healthcare from sheet 1, and I want to create a new worksheet with just those entries. So I'm going to hit go, and what it does, it'll tell me it's complete, and then I'm done. And you can see down here, created a new worksheet. If I go to this new worksheet, here are all the entries that I have for that included the healthcare row. And now I can go through and I can look at those if need be to find out what exactly those transactions involved. So being able to create a nice short subset or subtable of information is a quick way of going through your data. Now you can see here that all the data is the same amount for every month that we have, which is kind of what you expect if you're paying a healthcare premium. It's probably going to be about the same amount every month. You can see who the person is that paid this amount every month. We can run some other tests over it if we want to, but just from the short amount of data, you probably don't have to. But anyway, that's a great way to use this search and extract worksheet tool. Another item just to demonstrate very quickly is this multiple term search and extract. This right now is only set up to work on one sheet at a time, but basically you can see here I got several different people and several different descriptions that I can use. Say I want to look for entertainment and healthcare. I want to do it very quickly. I'll just go over here and I can type in healthcare and entertainment. Now what I have is a set of data that I want to search for. I'll do the multi-term search and extract. Select the range to be searched for. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and select this sheet, and I'm just going to select the entire sheet. And then it says the range of items to be searched for, and that's going to be my range right here. I want to look for healthcare and for entertainment. I'm going to hit go. It says it's all been copied. What it does is automatically create two spreadsheets down here, or two worksheets that contain all the information I want. So anywhere that the term entertainment shows up, I now have a subset of those transactions. And anywhere that the term healthcare shows up, I now have a subset of those transactions as well. So again, it's a great way to find a subset of transactions that you may be looking for without having to do an awful lot of work in order to create that information. I'm just formatting it here a little bit differently, but so you can see exactly what's going on with these transactions. So anyway, that's a short demonstration, again, as how to use some of these search and extract tools on my Fraud Toolbox toolbar. Again, please visit my website at fraudtoolbox.com for some more information and for some more samples of how you can use the toolbar to help possibly identify fraud in financial data. Thank you.